Hello, my beautiful people. For the last several weeks, I've been asking myself one vital question. Is my GLP-1 still working? And before anybody panics, let me say this right up front. I'm not a doctor. We know that. And I don't try to play one on the internet. I'm not giving medical advice. That's not what we're doing here. And I'm definitely not saying that my medication has stopped working. Not saying that at all. I'm simply sharing my experience as someone who's been taking Mounjaro for type 2 diabetes, who's also, hoping to lose weight, right? And who's trying to understand what's happening to my body. I'm just trying to understand what is actually happening to my body. Because if you've ever found yourself doing everything you know to do, everything you think you're doing everything right. You're eating better, you're moving more, you're tracking your food, and then stepping on the scale wondering, why isn't it working the way it used to, right? How come I didn't lose like a ton of weight, a ton of weight? So, today's conversation, if this is you, today's conversation is definitely for you. So grab a snack and come on back. So in today's Weight Loss Friday, I want to talk about something that I think many of us wonder, but don't always say out loud. Has your GLP-1 stopped working? Or does it simply feel different than it did before? And those are two very different questions, of course. And today, I'm not here with the answers. Absolutely not. I'm here with honesty. Honesty from my point of view, right? I've been taking Mounjaro for about 3 years now for my type 2 diabetes. And during those 3 years, I've lost around 140 pounds. But my journey hasn't been a straight line because weight loss is not linear. It's just not. Last year, I had 2 serious falls. One happened just before my birthday, a week to the day before my 61st birthday. And the other happened shortly afterward. Those falls changed everything for me during that time frame. My activity level dropped. It took a nosedive. My steps dropped. I wasn't doing my steps every day that I normally do. I wasn't moving like I had been. I just wasn't doing it. I didn't feel like doing it. And if I'm being completely honest, some of my old eating habits, they started creeping back in. They did. Cheddar jalapeno Cheetos became one of my comfort foods. It's like I couldn't do anything without that crutch. Couldn't do anything without them, right? Chocolate became another for me. And life happened, as it often does, especially when you're on a weight loss journey. And I regained some of the weight I'd worked so hard to lose. I did. But not because I quit and not because I stopped caring. Of course I cared. Life just interrupted my journey. It just interrupted me. And I know many of you understand exactly what that feels like, especially when you're on a weight loss journey, and especially if you're on a GLP-1. I know that you know exactly where I'm coming from. So where I am today, fast forward to today. I'm back tracking my food. I'm eating in a calorie deficit, which is really important to lose weight. I'm moving more. I am. I'm rebuilding my healthy habits. That's what I'm doing. I'm rebuilding them. I'm taking my Mounjaro consistently now, once a week. I took it yesterday, as a matter of fact. And, as I'm filming this video, I took my shot yesterday. But the scale, the scale isn't responding the way I expected. It's just not responding the way I expected at all. And that's what started this whole conversation in my mind. Like, not my medication isn't working, but what's changed? What's changed? Has my body changed? I honestly, don't know. Do I need a dosage adjustment? Possibly. Is there something my doctor needs to help me figure out? That's a big question. That's a big one. I don't know. But I think that that's okay not to know everything, right? We don't know everything. Because asking questions, it's not giving up. Not giving up at all. And it's taking responsibility for your health, right? My next step, of course, is in just a few days, I'm seeing my doctor on Monday, July 6th, as a matter of fact. And I'm not walking into that appointment with conclusions because I don't have any, but I am walking in with a lot of questions. And I'm going to tell her exactly what's been happening, what's working and what's changed for me, what I've noticed, and what's frustrating me. And together with that information, we'll be able to decide the next step. What should my next step be in this journey, especially in this GLP-1 journey? I'm learning, right? Adjusting, moving forward. That's all I can do now. That's all I can do. The biggest lesson of all of this for me, one thing that I've learned after 60 is this. Our bodies are constantly changing, constantly changing. Sometimes it's our age, right? Sometimes it's our hormones. Sometimes it's injury, like when I had those 2 falls. Sometimes it's stress, and we do go through a lot of stress sometimes at this age, we do, not knowing what tomorrow's going to bring. And sometimes it's actually the medication itself. Sometimes that needs to be changed. Sometimes it's just plain life. Life happens. What's the saying here? Life be lifing. Life happens. And that's why comparing your journey to someone else's, it doesn't really help. It doesn't help at all. We can't see somebody else who's on a GLP-1, whether it be a tirzepatide, a semaglutide, whatever they're on, right? A compound, and see their journey and think that, well, why isn't that happening to me? We can't. All of our bodies are different, right? And my body is telling me a story, right? It says your body's telling you a story, and mine is telling my story, basically. So that's why I think that we have to be patient enough to listen before we jump to conclusions. And I have to tell that to myself every single day, right? So before we close today's video, I want to introduce something brand new here on Weight Loss Fridays with Lexi. Because I don't want this series to be all about the number on the scale, right? It's not about that. Every Friday from now on, right, I want it to be about the whole journey for me. And we're going to celebrate something I call non-scale victory of the week. This week's non-scale victory has nothing to do with the scale whatsoever. Nothing to do with the scale. So far removed from the scale. A few days ago, I found a bag of chocolate. Some, what were they? Ferrero Rocher chocolates. And now, if you'd asked me a few years ago what would have happened, I would have eaten that whole bag without even thinking twice. I would have eaten the whole bag of chocolate without even thinking twice. I should have brought it here to show you. I should have brought it with me to show you while I was filming. But this time, I looked at the serving size. How many of us ever look at a serving size on a package? I do now that I'm on a weight loss journey. I never used to do that before. I would just eat handfuls of something, right? Or scoops of something, or bowls of something, right? Plates of something, bags of something. I never ever looked at the serving size of anything. I never did, right? So I ate one serving, right? One serving, I think was like 3 pieces, but I didn't eat them all at once. I separated them out, and I tracked it. I tracked it, and I stopped. And that may sound like a little thing, right? But for me, oh my God, that's a huge victory for me. A huge, huge victory for me. Because it's proof that my habits are changing. They're changing. After 3 years, they better have. And even when the scale isn't showing me what I want, my relationship with food is improving. And that's worth celebrating. That is always worth celebrating. Always worth celebrating. Always, always. And this isn't about chasing perfection. Not at all. Not at all. It's about understanding what's happening to our bodies so we can make better decisions, right? So we can just make better decisions. Because the scale doesn't tell the whole story. It definitely doesn't. You heard my non-scale victory, right? And so now I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to hear from you. What has your GLP-1 journey taught you? If you are on a GLP-1 right now, what has that journey taught you? Share it, right? And whether you're taking that or not, I'd also love to know, right? What's one non-scale victory you've had recently? Share it. You know, have your clothes fit better, right? Maybe that's it. Maybe your clothes are fitting better. Maybe you're walking farther. I know I could do more steps now. I can. Maybe you're sleeping better. And that's a big one, right? Because that's one of the things that we cannot replenish. We cannot replenish lost sleep or exhaustion. You just can't. Sure, you can get more sleep, but it never replenishes. There's no way to replenish that, right? Maybe you're making different choices around food like I did. I actually paid attention to the serving size and I portioned it out. And I'm so proud of myself for doing that, right? So whatever it is, let's celebrate it together. Let's celebrate these wins and these victories together. Because sometimes the biggest victories are the ones that the scale never measures. I see you. I'm proud of you. And once again, I thank you for spending part of your day with me whenever you're watching this. Love you plenty.